Well, in a few days. And the reason for this is that Merlin's family's in town. And when I do lessons, it's sort of exhausting. I don't know why. Um, I guess because I still have other stuff to do, and it's like sort of, I could do it with my eyes closed, but for some reason, I just like, when I do lessons, it's like, I don't want to do live streams or put out videos. I'm sort of like thinking about um, how the owners are interacting with the dogs, which, by the way, is going real good with Merlin. Merlin's a difficult dog. Seriously, what's up, Milk Roots? He's a difficult dog, so I don't want things to go wrong with Merlin. I don't want him to end up in a shelter, them calling me, like, do you want Merlin? I can't. And first of all, I don't do that. Um, but so I do sort of feel bad that I haven't been live streaming lately. But it's like that when I have the owners in town. I really have to sort of like concentrate on what they're doing wrong, and then have it ready to go for the next day, how to rectify the problem, which everything is working out just fine. Usually with owners, it's about leash technique. And these owners, before they came, knew how to hold the leash properly. They were just sort of like not giving the correction properly, which is another issue. But so they're sort of ahead of the game, and everything's going real good. The one thing with Merlin is that he had separation anxiety. He's sort of a vocal dog. Um, so the whole time he's been here, it's been like teaching the dog, you got to be alone at times, and you have to keep your mouth shut. And like a mini educator doesn't really work with him. Like if you correct him with a mini educator, it's too sharp. A micro educator is even sharper. So I had to use the boss with him, which is a collar that you use. It's bigger. It's got a bigger battery. It stays it stays charged longer and everything. But it's like something you use with a high drive dog. High drive dog. It's duller. It's duller. It's not sharp. So like on a mini educator, you might get a vocalization at from a dog at like 20, whatever. But with the boss, it's like a duller thing. So that was the boss is a collar I would use with Tonka, and he was here, and I'm like, well, this isn't going. I need more progress with Merlin. And I was looking at Tonka. I'm like, give me that collar. So when your dog comes here and there's issues, man, I'm trying different collars. Bark collar was not so effective with him. It just made matters worse. Um, yeah, it really did. So everything's going real good with him. He's one thing that I'll tell you is if you have a boss, don't plug it into the charger for like a mini or a micro, because what happens is it does something to the collar until you plug it back into its regular charger. Like it makes it so the collar doesn't work until you like dial it up real high. Like you could have it on 60 and I couldn't feel it. I'm like, great, what's the matter with the collar? So I brought it home, plugged it in, it was fine. But I woke up that morning and noticed that it was plugged into the mini, and it looked like it was charged. I was like, everything's fine. But I remember that this had happened before. So it doesn't screw the collar up permanently or anything. You just have to plug it back in. So the first lesson we go over there, and I had that collar on him and it wasn't working so good. I'm like, what's going on here? So I took the collar off, checked it. I'm like, man, I don't even feel it. So I went, got a mini educator, which they had for the rest of the sessions. It was better than nothing. And then they had it last night. But then um, yesterday after I left, I had figured out what was the matter with the collar, the boss by E-Collar Technologies. It was working, and then we put it on. As soon as I put it on him, like the dog is great. There's this like if you're dog training, if you're working with a dog trainer, um, you want somebody with a lot of experience. So, I've used a lot of different collars and they're all different. The one thing that I will say about e-collars is do not buy something on Amazon, some cheap collar from China. They're real hot. You want a collar that can go real low because your dog can sense it at these real low settings. But with him, he's like a special case. Like most dogs, you could use a mini educator, micro educator. Not him. He had to have the boss, which sucks because it's an expensive collar. But it's whatever. Look, here we need this dog to be. We need the dog to be good. Um, let's see. The Vizsla is rocking out. I wish that I had time to live stream some stuff with him because I have stuff to talk about. Lutsy. Lutsy's interesting too. He's a typical bird dog. Lutsy, I'll give you an example of typical bird dog puppy. I'm out there in the yard. He doesn't have an e-collar on. With an e-collar, I could call that dog. He comes to me, comes spinning in the heel. He doesn't have the e-collar on. He knows it, right? And Lutsy is like running up behind me trying to get me to go after him. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Lutsy? Go ahead, chase me. I can run 40 miles an hour and you can't catch me. I didn't fall for it. I went right inside, ignored him. I went inside and then got him back inside and put the e-collar on. So Lutsy is a special case in that, like, at no time will I have him, in the yard without a collar, at least right now, without the e-collar on because he's color wise and he is a puppy that, like, I don't know what's been going on. Maybe he ran from the owners and the owners chased him and then he found out that he's fast as shit. I don't know what they probably go 40 miles an hour. That dog's almost as fast, it's probably about as fast as Tonka was at that age. Tonka was probably the fastest dog I've ever known. It's the most hyperactive dog I've ever known. Lutsy is a fraction of what Tonka was at that age. Tonka was, a lot to deal with. Lutsy's no problem. But so I'm really looking forward to, I could take Lutsy right now out in the field. I'd function okay, but he's just not healing good enough for me. So we're not going out in the field. We're still doing yard work. He needs to heal better. And that's the thing about the poodle, Merlin, is that once you get the dog healing a proper heel, everything sort of gets better. So with Merlin, a special case, a lot of times I do it different with each dog, like him especially, but like we're really concentrating on just leash technique with this guy because he's such a freak. Like really, let's get the dog doing a real proper heel because if you get the dog functioning like that, it's sort of asymmetrical, and then the dog is much, much better. When I was over there the first day and we didn't have a working collar, I'd never seen Merlin that excited in my entire life. He was terrible. He was terrible. And they're like, see, this is what we've been dealing with. So that went on for maybe a half an hour, and I'm like, then I checked the color. I'm like, this thing isn't even working. Merlin was such a D-bag. So everything's cool. Just remember that if you do get one of those colors, if you have a big dog and you have a mini educator too, don't plug the boss into the charger for the mini educator. If you do, unplug it and plug it back into the one for the boss. It's got like different amperage and volt input and output. So as soon as you do it, the collar starts working proper again. But I was like, man, I was on like 75 and the dog wasn't doing anything. Dog was just excited. So, it's like one of those things, like all this is good because you want, the whole purpose of the lessons is you want stuff like that to happen. You want to iron it all out with the dog, and that's what we've been doing, like making sure that the dog's used to seeing them leave the house. Because they were held hostage. That's the problem with these separation anxiety dogs. Like, they'll hold the owner hostage. That's why the female owner was walking with the dog with a stroller. She didn't want to take the dog. She had to take the dog because they have tenants downstairs. Do you know what I'm saying? So she didn't want to bother tenants, so she had to take the dog. You're held hostage by the separation anxiety dog. Now they can continue where I'm leaving off and, sort of have like a normal. It's okay if your dog barks, okay? That's fine. That's fine. But when you say no, the dog needs to shut up. And that's what he wasn't doing. He'd just keep going, So now, like, they were at the store. They're at a B&B. And they were at the store. They said, we're coming back from Wegmans. And so I drove up there. And he was in there. He was quiet when I pulled in. And then as soon as I got out of the car, then I heard him bark. And I went over to the door. I said, shut the fuck up, Merlin. He was quiet. I didn't have the e-collar with me. He was quiet. And then the owner, like I said, maybe you guys should go out and see how he is. Or Merlin did the same thing. Merlin, your dog, can make noise, but you don't want it to just go on and on and on. That's a bad sign. So that's not how he is now. And usually, your dog is going to be quiet while you're gone. Won't say a peep. But when you come home, then it might make some noise. But you have to be able to have, shut up. Shut the fuck up. They need to stop. So it would be unrealistic to say that the dog should never vocalize. Maybe a Basenji. Basenjis don't really make a lot of noise. But you get some mouthy GSP like Tonka. Yeah, at times he's going to make some noise. Was not normal when Merlin showed up. He did make noise at night, the whole night. So we had to nip that in the bud. It was difficult at first, it was. But he's pretty much acting like a normal dog, meaning if he's in the crate, he'll sleep in the crate, he'll lay down, and he'll just chill out. I was seeing that like the day before I left. I was grooming Mer, and I was going to put a leash on him, or his e-collar or something. He was laying down. He didn't want to get up. That's what you want to see. You want to see a dog like that. Like this chill. The dog that's standing in his crate panting, no good. The dog that gets freaked out and pisses in the crate, no good. The dog that barks incessantly in the crate, no good. You want your dog as calm as possible. And the problem is with, the Vizsla has some separation anxiety. He does. He's got some. I'm getting rid of that. But for the owner, it's difficult to do. It is. It's really difficult to do. You have to be consistent. It's just like, you like the dog. You're not going to be able to do it. Medication, I don't know, Tony. The vet's just giving you something that, it might take the edge off, but you're not going to get the dog to quit by doing that, by giving it human medication. Oh, you love Destiny? Okay, I'll tell her you said that. I'm sure she'd be ecstatic to hear that. She's pretty awesome. I don't blame you. As long as you don't say anything rude, we'll take that as a compliment, okay? What else? So that's it. So I'm just sort of, I feel bad because I'm like, it's too much to put out videos where I'm doing lessons. Yeah, it's enough to get fucking the Vizsla out and work with Lutzi. But you gotta stay up on it. I'm gonna get Lutzi out in the field as soon as possible. I know it's a compliment. It's badass. He's a badass, skinny ass little bird dog who'll put on weight like the next 8 months. He'll gain size and muscle mass. Would it be safe to use a mini educator charger on a micro? Yes. Yes, the micro charger and the mini education. mini educator charger are the same. The only one that isn't the same is the Boss. The Boss is a bigger one and it's different voltage and everything. But yeah, those are exactly the same. No problem. Um, that's this happened about a week and a half ago. I did the same thing. Like I did it, and then I'm like thinking like 2 years ago or something. This 3 years ago, and that's all it does. It resets it once you plug it in to the proper one, which is good because I'll tell you what, if that dog needs that collar. I don't. Those things travel like with the Boss. I think it might go a mile or something. They could be. It probably goes through a brick wall. But more than that, the difference is with the Boss. It's not as sharp as the mini educator or the micro educator. And just so you know, the micro educator is sharper than the mini educator. And the owner said that they did that on purpose. Now, why they're doing that, I don't know, because I like a duller one that the dog senses as duller, because the sharper ones, you might be using it lower. I'm telling you, the Boss is a good collar. It has applications that like the mini and the micro don't. So, but that dog just flat out needs the Boss. It's also very apparent because on the dog, like it's a big collar, so the dog can, I think, physically feel that it's on there, and he's clearly collar wise. He knows when it's not working proper. I'll tell you that. Um, but everything is going good. Today I saw Mer like really get with the program as far as corrections with heel is spot on with the male owner. The female owner was getting, but she worked him first, so maybe, so we'll see tomorrow, and then tomorrow I'm gonna take weave pulls over there and probably do some of that stuff. Um, because I don't know, man. I was like, you could use two trees or traffic cones, and she said, "Oh, we have traffic cones." It's people that actually worked with their dog. They actually work with the dog. They made some mistakes, but they could get the dog to do some stuff. But they couldn't stop the dog from doing certain things, which is a problem. So the drive was there for the owners. Clearly, they clearly made an effort. The dog came here and could do sit down whoa as a push up. That takes work, and from what it sounds like, both owners worked with the damn dog. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The female owner, I handed her the leash. She went right into holding it correctly. I'm telling you, you might think that this is like not, it's easier. No, it's not. It's not. So many people, it takes days for them to learn how to hold it correctly. So these people, they already had holding it correctly. Now they're just figuring out how to give it a really proper correction. With Merlin, you want them at a really tight heel. If they could get that dog to tightly heel, they're not going to have issues with this dog. The barkings, we figured it out while I was here. Separation anxiety, they can come and go. He's a vocal dog, he's probably gonna, they'll probably have to tell him to shut up at least once or twice a day, but whatever. He's a good dog. I like the poodle. I told someone to ditch the harness and flexi on their dog when they asked me why their dog was pulling. Then I told them to find a balanced trainer. Yeah, that's a bad sign, right? The harness and the flexi lead. Boy, that you have one of your dog is at heel. Are you trying to train your dog and somebody's walking towards you and they have a harness on the dog and a flexi lead? Get away from that dog, because that dog's gonna be a wreck. This flexi leads. This idiot in California. I'm not gonna say his name, but he uses flexi. He's got videos with flexi leads. He's trying to bill himself as like a competent dog trainer. He's a dog whisperer kind of guy, part of the IACP or whatever it is, International Canine, I don't know, Association of Canine Professionals. There's a lot of people that are associated with that thing that are a joke. It's a thing for dog whisper people. It is. It's a joke. Something popped up on my Instagram thing. It was like offering it to me, like something about the pack leader or something. Like I look, he's doing a video where he's like describing. There's like 6 dogs in a big field or something, and he's describing like his interpretation of how they're interacting. I had to comment. I know it was a troll comment, but I said, "Okay, Caesar." That's what I said. "Okay, Caesar, why don't you talk about training the dogs because that's what they need? You know, you should delete Insta. Why should I delete it? Why should I delete Instagram? Oh, hey, put them back, Toxic, so we can hear what they say. Let's hear what this person says. Tell us. What's it doing for you? Well, why is it any of your business? Why should I delete anything? Why do you think I should delete Instagram? Why would I do that? What are you going to tell me next, to delete Facebook? Why do you care? Why should I delete it? And how do you know it's not doing anything for me? People follow it. Why? Because you don't like it or what? Tell us, we're interested. We're inquiring minds and we want to know. Instagram is fine. It's not any worse than YouTube. Ha ha ha. I feel it's a bad thing for all people. Well, you sound judgmental, don't you? Why is it so bad? You not give us a reason, you just say it's all bad. Like, why is it bad? Give us a good reason. I mean, seriously, give us a reason. You can't just say something's bad. That's not a... You seem, let's hear your critical thought here. I mean, tell us. I mean, you can't just make a generalization. It divides the self into many. That doesn't even make sense. It's like, what's that supposed to mean? Divides the self into many? You're not being clear. You can't be an individual? Yeah, you can. Why? You don't think I'm an individual? I don't know if there's anybody on YouTube that has a channel like mine. I have 19 different playlists. I don't really care what people think. So you think that on Instagram, how am I any different on Instagram? That doesn't make any sense. You're projecting, I think. I think you're just projecting. I don't know what you're talking about, and I just think you're trying to. I don't know. I don't want to seem like mean. Are you influenced? What are you talking about? You just like spit out words that, what are you, in 8th grade? I mean, seriously. By the way, I mean, I know you don't, but you're just like saying words in out of context. Like, you're not like, am I influenced? No, generally people don't influence me. As a dog trainer, no one influences me. I don't watch other dog training videos. The guy that was the Cesar Millan guy, like, I had to watch like 5 seconds. I don't need to watch dog training. Who's going to teach me anything about dog training? I'm 58 years old. I have my method and it's effective. So no, I'm not really influenced by that. No, I'm not. My art? I don't know. I don't really even go to gallery shows unless it's a friend of mine. So am I influenced by that? No, probably not. But I might be influenced by watching a movie or something a friend says. So I'm not saying I'm not saying I can't be influenced. If somebody has a point of view that originally I disagree with, but they make valid points, then they would influence me. And I do not think that I am rigid in thought. I'm totally flexible. I was a fucking Republican. I'm not anymore. Okay? I took the dog out. She immediately went for a baby rabbit. It was wounded. I had to put the rabbit out of its misery. I'm going to have to clear the... Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, that's a bummer, right? You feel people shouldn't have Instagram? Well, you're not the king of the world, Putin. Okay? Why don't you worry about yourself? You seem more concerned about what other people are viewing, right? Like you're Putin. You think that it's not, who cares what you think? You don't have any valid points anyway. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't seem like it. Yeah, this guy, whoever you are, you're just spitting out stuff that, you think that people shouldn't have Instagram, but you give us no, like you said, it splits the self. What are you talking about, man? You're just spitting out words, man. I have no values. I guess you don't. You're just you're just wasting everybody's time. You are. You're just wasting everybody's time. So, see ya. Have a good one, as they say. That was real tedious, That person's tedious and judgmental, right? It's just tedious, judgmental shit. He doesn't have a valid point about anything. It just is using words. I'm not even so sure that person knows what they're talking. Oh, in my opinion? Yeah, it's my opinion, of course. Right? It's my opinion. Person's tedious and judgmental. How do I train my Kanye? What do you want me to do? You want me to give you like a sentence to... You want me to wave my magic wand? I don't think it works like that. Right? But you should work on getting it hand trained. There's a lot of variables. I don't know anything about you or your bird. That's like saying, how do I train my dog? I don't know. I don't know you. I don't even know if you have a dog. I don't even know if you have a conure. But I'll tell you one thing. Why'd you get a bird if you didn't do research and you have no idea how to train it? Right? Let me let you in on a little hint. I'm gonna do you a favor, and I am gonna give you a little helpful information. Okay? Now birds, they need to eat a lot. They need water and food every day. Your dog, let's say a wolf, could go up to 2 weeks without making a kill. That's a fact. So your dog really doesn't need to eat every day. Like, they might say for medical reasons, don't feed the dog, before you bring it in for like 12 hours, whatever. Okay? So with a bird, though, it's different because they don't have a lot of fat on them. So birds need to eat daily. They need to have water. If they don't get that food and water, not every day, man, they're going to just 2 days and they're going to be sick and die. It's a fact. So knowing that the bird, functions, like most animals like the circadian rhythm affects birds, meaning like when it's dark, a lot of birds just go to sleep. So your conure would be like that, and when it wakes up, it's going to be hungry. Okay? So you wake up in the morning, your conure is hungry, right? And it's going to feed because most birds want to feed when they wake up. Try training early in the morning. If you're going to use some food, and if the conure doesn't know you, maybe you could gain its trust by getting it to eat out of your hand. But I'm just telling you, listen up. You got a bird, and all birds will bite. So if you got a bird, be prepared to get bit. And if you do get bit, and you're like, oh, damn, I'm just going to leave that bird in a cage. Why'd you get the bird? That's what they do, man. Try using food early in the morning, right? Try using food early in the morning. See if you could get it to eat out of your hand. So that way you could gain trust, right? Because trust is an issue. That conure not going to trust you. And talk in a real pleasing tone. Like a real low tone. Hey, what's up, buddy? Like that. That might be helpful. But remember that. Try it in the morning. And don't let the conure go without food. I remember a story somebody told me that they said that their neighbor had a parrot, and they said, well, the parrot doesn't eat, right? And they went in, and like the parrot's bowl was full of sunflower holes. They didn't realize that like parrots, you know, they hold a seed. They don't eat the whole, right? So what I'm saying is you have to make sure that the bird has enough food to eat and make sure that you know that they don't eat the whole seed. Some birds eat the whole seed and then they use grit to break it down. Like those black sunflower seeds, there's lots of birds will eat those. There's birds that will crack those open too, like brown sparrows will crack some seeds open and take the hull off. But like there's like birds like a duck will eat like dried corn in a field, right? A pigeon will do the same thing. It can eat dry corn, and what they do is they eat small rocks, and then the rocks help digest the corn and stuff like that, right? Your parrot holds the seed. I'm not saying that your parrot might not like a little grit. It might. It's a bird, but they don't need grit like a duck, a pigeon, a chicken. You know, like a chicken will eat a whole kernel of corn. So, you know, you're just asking a silly question. So, that's like asking about a dog, and you're just stupid. So we don't want to see it. How do I trim? See this person's. Oh, thank you for getting rid of that idiot. Yeah, it seems like a child is on the stream, right? Keeps making just a new YouTube channel so he can make more ridiculous childish comments. Okay, so what was it talking about? I don't know. I wonder if Hillsby's okay. I saw that she made it through the tornado, right? So I guess she's okay. I'm not gonna count them up. I don't really care. Not that many. I don't know that many. I would like a pony, but I can't afford it. I'd like a horse. I would. Yeah, I'm not I got 2 cats. I'll tell you that. I got a raven, a few pigeons. I don't know, some dogs. I don't, hang on. I don't have any advice about that, man. That's a tough deal. I'm sorry to hear that. Like, time, it's a bummer, man. I've lost a lot of dogs, pets. You could get another dog. It doesn't diminish how you felt for that your dog. You're still sad, but you're less sad because you're too busy picking up after the puppy and taking care of the puppy. So I've done that several times. Like, I start looking around, looking for a breeder, and within 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, I'm driving to someplace out of state to pick up my new dog. That would be my suggestion because it's depressing, isn't it? It's a bummer, man. You walk into a room, and where that dog, you usually see him, there's like an empty spot. It sucks. It does. It sucks. It does. It's a real bummer. Destiny bought some cannolis at Wegmans. I had one. I stay away from sugar as much as possible, but I did have one. And I was, you know, I was thinking of getting a budgie to keep me company. Yeah, get a young one if you can find a real young one. They're great, but get a young one. Try and hand train it. The cannoli, like, it looked real good, and I ate it. It was good, but while I was eating it, it sort of reminded me of a high quality Hostess product. You know, it was like, it wasn't really a cannoli. It was like cannoli-esque. Like it was dipped in chocolate. It was a cannoli dipped in chocolate, but then on the inside of the cannoli was, they did something else too. I don't know, man. It didn't really remind me of an actual cannoli. It reminded me of something like a cannoli. It was good, but it had this thing like where it was sort of like, it looked real cool. I will say that. It was a nice looking product. Expensive. They were like $2 a piece. It was, you know, it was pretty high, pretty pricey. But I think you're paying for the look too. I mean, they were like, you know, pretty good. On the Beatles, man, I was never a huge Beatles fan. You are asking about, hang on. You bred a dog and you are looking for answers. Why did you breed that dog? That makes like no sense. You have no idea what you're doing. You had no business breeding the dog in the first place. Right? Right? Because you're clearly a backyard breeder, right? And yet you're looking for information about how to deal with the bitch. Man, why'd you do that? He did it for the money. Yeah, probably. You know? Really, what's your problem? Just trying to make some money? You didn't even do. I could, you know. Yeah, he's a culprit. That's right. Idiot. I agree. You didn't even do your research. You just, who knows if you even have a dog, man. Well, first of all, my name's not Pedro, okay? It's not Pedro, all right? It's not. My name's Peter. We aren't friends, all right? I don't know you. Don't get friendly with me. I don't know you. And you're like, oh, okay, I live in the country and someone dropped the dog off on me. That's convenient. You still have the dog, don't you? You knew it was pregnant. You're trying to get information from a live stream? I'm sorry, you know, it doesn't pass the smell test. You know? You're taking care of the pregnant dog? Dude, look, I came here because you dog trainer and I ask a simple question, you're the one making an assumption. Okay, first of all, I'm a dog trainer. Okay? You're asking husbandry about breeding dogs. I'm a dog trainer, dick. Oh, please. Come on. Yeah, too much. Too much. I don't believe you. Your name is Culprit. I'm sorry. You know, give simple nutritional advice. Dude, if you want nutritional advice, why don't you go ask a vet? Okay? Or why don't you look it up? I'm a dog trainer. I've never bred a dog because I'm not an idiot. All right? As a vet tech, I'm not answering your question because I'm not into people that breed dogs. And I don't necessarily believe you. Okay? You look like a troll to me. That's the way it looks. And you're coming here expected, like, you didn't super chat me a damn thing. You just expect me to answer your question, don't you? It's off topic. I'm a dog trainer, not a dog breeder. I don't believe you. I don't believe anybody dropped the dog off and you're lazy because you could have gone to the internet. You could have typed it in, nutritional needs for, but you didn't do that. I don't know you. We don't even know if you had a dog. Sounds like a story, and I think there's a lot of people in the stream that probably agree. Everybody's sort of like, what's your problem? I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Oh, somebody pawned the dog off on me, and I don't want to take it to the shelter because the shelters are full. Oh, and then what are you going to do with the puppies, right? You don't even know when the puppies are supposed to be let go, do you? Do you know? Do you know when you're supposed to, find homes for the puppy? Do you know? The 8th week. Yeah, he's totally full of it. The 8th week, Dick. You don't know, though. You could just, get rid of him at the 5th week, right? Because you don't know. You don't know anything. You don't know what the bitch is supposed to have. You don't know when they're going to be weaned. You don't know anything. You're just like, oh, I just give the dog some Purina or something, and Jesus Christ. God damn it. Just such a story. Such a story, right? It's not even believable. Is that the story you're writing for 2nd grade or something? It's the way it sounded. Not even believable. And your name? Your name? It's a troll name. We're not stupid. We're not. No, it's a troll name. It's a child. Or somebody with a childlike mind. Hang on. Okay, first of all, intellectual, hang on, how did you put this? Intellectual disability? That doesn't exist. They're dogs. They're all trainable, okay? There's no smart dog. There isn't. It's a dog. It's a lot of muscle memory, okay? Yeah, deaf dogs, you mean? Sure. One-legged dog? Sure. Yeah, what about it? It's all the same in varying degrees. But there's no intellectual disability. What are you talking about? Are you talking about like a human? It's not the same, man. Your dog doesn't ponder thought, so how could I have an intellectual disability? Being an intellectual, if you're an intellectual, then you think. You don't have to be smart, but you're thinking, and dogs respond. Dogs cannot conjure thought. They respond. They don't ponder thought, okay? They don't sit around and think. When we train dogs, it's a lot of muscle memory, okay? They don't have language. They don't. They hear tone. There's no language with a dog. It's nothing like you. They respond. They don't ponder thought. And when they respond, you want them to respond with trained commands, okay? Then the dog's safe. If the Mango's 23, something like that, he's still alive. But if you want them to respond with, trained commands, and that is instinct and no. You don't want them to respond instinctually, because that's all the bad shit, okay? That's all the bad shit. All right? It's nothing like you. It isn't. Stop thinking that dogs are like you. They're not. They're mammalian. That's about it. They are. They're nothing like you. Stop. That's the problem. We have 6 million dying every year because people look at dogs in like this anthropomorphic way. Like, oh, it must be like, so dogs do not communicate with one another. I didn't say that. Dude, I didn't say that. You're moronic, man. No, of course dogs communicate with one another. But they don't do it talking. That's a cartoon, tool. It's like body language. I didn't say that they don't communicate. That's ridiculous. That's, Yes, of course I know about the domesticated fox. Sure. Yeah, I said that they don't have language. They read body language, but that isn't language, okay? That isn't language. That's just body movement. That's not the same thing, man. That's real basic. That does not mean that your dog has like language skills, okay? It doesn't talk. It doesn't talk. All right? They respond. They respond, okay? So if they see a dog charging them, they respond. Okay? If they see another dog excited, they get excited. They respond. It's basic. Stop thinking that it's like you. No, they don't sit there with, we're going to have a birthday party. What do you watch cartoons and think that it's real? That's not what's going on, okay? And so much of a dog that isn't trained is instinctual anyway. The fact of the matter is most people shouldn't have dogs because of this kind of nonsense. It's nonsense. What do you want? Yeah, pretty much. They see Lady and the Tramp and they think that that's really how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It is. Listen, somebody that was asking about whales, there's other animals that vocalize stuff like birds. Okay? All right? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you all want to, you want to talk about language and other animals, then just go read Irene Pepperberg's work from the University of Arizona. And maybe you'll get a better idea how it is, but I'm just telling you, they're not like us, okay? They're not like us. Like, say a dog. Let's talk about dogs who don't have language. You can teach. Maybe this will be clear for you. Listen up, lab partners. You can teach a border collie the names of 1,200 different objects, okay? 1,200 different objects. It's a fact. But if you have the dog and you have like, the dog learned that this toy, this plush toy, is a turkey, it'll never understand this is a turkey and the bird, the real bird, is a turkey. It'll never put it together. They don't have language. Okay? Birds, say a parrot. A parrot. Look at Alex the parrot that Pepperberg studied. She studied other birds too. That bird, you could say, "What's this, Alex?" And he could say, "Fork." Right? You could even like say, have like a red ball. Or you could say, "What is this, Alex?" Ball. What color is it? Red. But the bird is not sitting around carrying on a conversation. Coco the gorilla, more of a conversation, but, you know, what's the point? I mean, I'm sorry. What's the point other than thinking about, or, you know, using that as like a model for like how humans, you know, we learned language. I don't know, you know? I mean, it has some importance, but like on a everyday human scale, it's more like, well, that's an interesting trick, you know? That's interesting. But is Coco the gorilla, could Coco ever walk down to the store and get a Snickers? No. No. Could Coco say when Smokey died, his cat, that he was sad? Yes, he could. But it's never going to be like Planet of the Apes, okay? It's never going to be like that. I had a parrot named Piggy that could do math, or it appeared that he could do math. And I taught him to say 4. It was all a trick. It was all a trick. I could say, "Piggy, what's 2 plus 2? 4. What's 4 minus 4 minus 2 or 6 minus 2? 4. Right? What's a golf player say before he hits the golf ball into the tree? 4. So it was all a trick. Could I communicate with Piggy, and can I communicate with Sam the Raven? Absolutely. Do they understand what I'm saying? My pigeon understands better than my raven, and I can tell my pigeon, like, go over here, fly to me. I can use the pigeon on green screen. I just did it recently. I was like, go back by the wall. Okay, come towards me. Okay, go over here. Go over here. Okay, come here. But it involves training. Okay? So without training of the animal, they're not going to really understand what you're saying. Even Sam the Raven, right? He understands me because I've interacted with him so much. The wild raven doesn't know what you're saying, and you shouldn't be trying to befriend the wild raven anyway. Does that make sense? So like in the grand scheme of things, what's it matter? It's only interesting on a, you know, like, God, I don't even want to bring up dolphins. I don't want to bring up John C. Lilly and his cruel experiments. You know, it's just like, it's never going to happen, okay? We're unique. Every animal on this planet is unique. We're all unique. We're all, you know, bonded by common ancestry. We're all related. But there's no other animal that's really like us. You look at the chimp or the gorilla. Come on, man. We can't even work with those animals. You can't work with those animals. A chimp? You cannot work with a chimp. We can work with a dog. You can't even train a chimp that, like, if you have a box here and a box here and a box here, that the grape is underneath this box by pointing to it. They don't care. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to follow your direction. But a dog? Point to it, they'll go get it. You know? So, you know, there's all this, like, thing, you know, everybody wants animals to be so smart. Like, they got to be like us. Well, they're not really. You know, there's similarities because we're related by common ancestry. But, I mean, to be perfectly honest, most of the animals are like other animals. And we're the ones, because we have the intellectual capacity to, ponder thought. We're the only ones that understand, what's out there. They don't think about the moon. They're never gonna be able to like make a spaceship and go up in the moon, go to the moon. They're more like each other, and we're like on the planet, like there's nothing else like us. And if there is something else like us, it's on another planet or in another solar system, and it's probably better than us, especially if it's coming here. So I wouldn't worry. I mean, like, just because an animal's smart or stupider, it doesn't make it any less worthy. I always hear that, like, well, I eat pork. Oh, you shouldn't do that. They're smart. Oh, what's that have to do with pork being the most delicious meat around? Don't give me a pet pig. If I had a pet pig, I wouldn't eat pork. I got pet birds now. I can't go bird hunting if I wanted to. Oh, please. Go dove hunting with Remy? No way, man. No way. Can't do it. But it's just like this whole nonsense about, like, God, the dogs and the fucking puzzle thing that they hit, and people are thinking that their dog's talking to them or something. I mean, just moronic stuff, But I mean, it's moronic because people believe this shit. You could tell a person, this is a big problem, sticking problem for people. Like, you say, what, my dog loves me. No, it doesn't. It doesn't love you. It could like you, but it can't love you because love is a complex human emotion, and they don't have it. Oh, I know my dog loves me, and they get offended. Well, no, love is a complex human emotion. You try and explain, they don't get it. You say, somebody says, well, my dog was jealous. No, it wasn't. Once again, it's a complex human emotion you're talking about. They don't have it. They don't have it. You're seeing animal behavior, and because you're a human, all you have to go on is your human experiences. That's it. So you use that to describe your dog's behavior. It's jealousy. It had nothing to do with jealousy. Probably had to do with, like resource guarding. You got in a fight with another dog. You had food in your hand. Whatever. You wouldn't even have to have food in your hand. It could be another dog. Another dog gets close to you. That's my resource. Get away. It's probably something like that, along that line. You tell people that, it just offends them. The whole love thing, like, no, I know my dog loves me. No, you love the dog. That doesn't mean it can love you back. It can like you, right? It can like you a lot, but they don't love you. And let me tell you something. This will hurt. When your dog comes here and does a board and train with me, you think it's thinking about you? You're a fool. It doesn't think about you, and you're lucky. You're lucky it doesn't. It doesn't until it sees you and smells you, doesn't think about you. I have dogs that are real aggressive and stuff. As soon as I get them away from the owner, they start acting normal. Like, not aggressive, but they're aggressive around the owner. I'm, trying to deal with them on a leash. Your dog, when you're away from it, doesn't think about you. And if you're going to bring up separation anxiety, that's something totally different. That's something totally different. That's a trained-in thing that you did to your dog, and it's a shame because dogs with separation anxiety, that's the overly loving owner does that doesn't get dogs. Oh, shut up with the dog that sleeps on its master's grave. What are you, a child? Seriously. You got a childlike mind? I mean, seriously. Do you believe that? Oh, did you see about the dog that sleeps on its master's grave? That never happened, okay? The husky that's on its master's grave and is crying? That's not crying, that's a reverse sneeze, okay? The dog was placed there. It's probably a dog that does a reverse sneeze a lot. That's all it is. When you're gone, your dog isn't going to think about you. And you should be happy about that because your dog is not going to get bummed out. And if you're going to say, my dog's depressed, I've never met a sad dog. You get that dog away from the owner, they act totally normal. I met a lot of sad owners and depressed owners that are projecting on their dog. I've never met a sad dog. Are you kidding me? That doesn't exist, okay? Like, the psychological problems that humans have, we have that because we have so much gray matter. Your dog, if it's the German Shepherd, has a brain about the size of a lemon. There isn't enough gray matter for, you know, these complex human emotions. It just doesn't exist. How do I know this? Because I've worked with dogs enough. I know that when the owner says this, all you got to do is get the dog away from the owner. They act totally normal. You see the dog sitting on the ground, right, with its puppy dog eyes, its big soulful puppy dog. Oh, my dog's sad. No, it's not. It's just sitting there, you know, looking at you. But in your head, oh, look, it's sad. It's not sad. You're sad because you have a dog and you don't understand it. You're projecting your human experiences on an animal that's not human. Oh, you want to talk about elephants and the funeral? You want to do that? Let's talk about that for a minute. All these animals that like, oh, they're so smart. Yeah, I'm not saying that an elephant's stupid, but I'll be honest with you. I think most of the animals on this planet are really trainable and real smart. And Asian elephants have been trained for literally hundreds, if not a couple thousand years, whatever. But the African elephant, this is a fun fact, not trainable at all. You can train an Asian elephant, it works with humans, great. African elephant, no, they're not going to do it. So let's talk about the African elephant. The baby dies, right? And all the other elephants are circling around it, and the human being puts this thing, oh, they're having a funeral. They're saying goodbye to the baby elephant. They're not leaving it. No, they do that with their babies. One elephant will take care of another elephant if they have to, baby elephant, right? We'll say there's a baby elephant down. They want to protect it. They have no idea that the animal is dead until it starts smelling and not getting up. They're not holding a funeral for the elephant. This is all stuff that people see. This is made for you to watch on TV, and they want to grab you and pull you in. And how do they do that? Talking about it in an anthropomorphic way, so you want to watch it. It's a fact. I'm sorry. I'm not putting the elephant down. I do think that the elephants are smart. They're highly trainable. It's like the whales. Like, look at the whales. They're highly trainable. They can learn a lot of different things, right? Look at the birds. They're highly trainable. They can learn a lot of different things, you know? But I mean, come on. Let's be real here. Stop looking at animals in an anthropomorphic way. And when you see something like this on TV that is put out by Nat Geo, it's probably bullshit, okay? There's probably an element of bullshit to keep you watching the damn show. How many times do I hear people, I got a raven. How many times do I hear the stuff repeated about ravens? It's some of it's factual, but also like there's this element of like, well, let's keep the viewer watching, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It's always that. It's always that. Most of that Nat Geo stuff is all about that. It's not really about like, I'd rather watch David Attenborough, you know, but still those, like, man, there's a lot of like, trying to explain the animal's behavior in a way that human beings will keep watching. So I do understand it in some respect, like, it's not like the whole dog parent thing, like, it's not so good, but there's been times that I'll say, like, so-and-so's mom. I'm doing that to sort of rope people in because people are so confused about dogs. And the most confused people are the mom and dad dog owners, you know, the fur babies. Oh, it's my fur baby. They're a mess. They don't want to train the dog. They think they just have to love the dog. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So I do try and rope them in. I get it. I get it. But like on some level, you have to say enough is enough. And, you know, they're not really like us, okay? Oh, I hate the fur baby thing. Fur mommy and daddy. It's just fucking bizarre shit. You know, oh, there we, oh, I was wondering if you were all right, Hillsby. There you go. Hillsby is all right. I'm glad you're alive. I did see your post of your, the clouds and shit. She didn't get hit by a tornado. All right. Hillsby, you just got on, and I'm just gonna go now too. I gotta go deal with the dogs. Maybe I'll live stream later in Sam's room or something. When Sam is smart, I'm not saying he's not smart. I'm just saying you can train a pigeon to pass the mirror test. You can't train Sam. Is one better than the other? No, they're just different. That's what I'm saying. We're all unique. Nobody's better or worse. Nothing has to be like us. The other animals, they don't have to be like us. You know? Dang, I have a letter from Anansi. Do you really? Where'd you get a letter from Anansi? I gotta go. I gotta go deal with the dogs. I'm glad you're all right, though. I'm glad you're all right. You bought? Oh. What? The U.S. Department? I don't know what you're talking about. That just seems you know. I'll check it out. But you know what? The reporter that's responsible for killing both intentionally and. Listen, let me tell you something. The person with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. 6 million dogs, okay? 6 million dogs are put down every year. Okay? Every year in the United States alone, 4 to 6 million. So why are you bringing up this thing that I don't even know if it's true? I don't know if it's true. But 6 million are already dying, so why are you bringing up 1.75? Okay? I gotta go.